Forget Columbus and Magellan for a moment. What if I told you the history books got it wrong, that some of the greatest maritime explorers, those who truly reshaped the world, remain largely unknown? Prepared to challenge everything you thought you knew about global discovery. Today, we re-unearthing the true pioneers of the high seas. The unsung heroes whose epic voyages secretly charted the unknown, forever changing our understanding of the world. Imagine vast uncharted oceans, and the brave souls who dared to sail them, pushing humanity's boundaries without ever claiming the fame they deserved. Join us as we pull back the curtain on these enigmatic figures and their monumental, yet overlooked expeditions. The grand tales of exploration we all learn in school often cast a long shadow. A shadow so vast it obscures the true pioneering voyages that came before. We talk about Columbus in 1492, but who really set the precedent for these global maritime ventures? That truth is the age of exploration didn't begin with a handful of famous European expeditions. It was a slow burn, a culmination of centuries of forgotten journeys. Let's dive into some of these pre-Columbian enigmas. Long before ships from Spain and Portugal crossed the Atlantic, there is mounting evidence of transoceanic travel from cultures often ignored by mainstream history. Take the Polynesians, for example. These master wayfinders navigated the vast Pacific Ocean using star compasses, wave patterns, and the flight of birds. They settled remote islands like Hawaii and Easter Island thousands of years ago, feats of navigation that were simply unparalleled. Their double-hulled canoes, or wa'akalua, were sophisticated vessels capable of carrying people, plants, and animals across thousands of miles of open water. This wasn't accidental drifting. This was intentional, systematic exploration and settlement. Then there are the tantalizing clues of African voyages to the Americas. The 14th century ruler of the Mali Empire, Mansa Abubakar II, is said to have abdicated his throne to lead a massive fleet of 2,000 ships west into the Atlantic, never to return. While definitive proof remains elusive, discoveries of artifacts, linguistic similarities, and even certain plant species in the Americas that originated in Africa suggest contacts long before Columbus. These narratives challenge our entire timeline of global interaction. These weren't just isolated incidents. They were part of a global tapestry of human curiosity and courage that has been happening for millennia. The famous Age of Discovery didn't just appear out of nowhere. It was built on the shoulders of forgotten innovators and their technological leaps that made impossible journeys possible. When we think of advanced ship design, we might picture the caravels used by Columbus, but innovations were happening all over the world. The Chinese treasure ships of Admiral Zheng He in the early 15th century were colossal vessels, estimated to be over 400 feet long, dwarfing any European ship of the time. These junks had watertight compartments, balanced rudders, and multiple masts, technologies far ahead of their Western counterparts. Zheng He led 7 expeditions into the Indian Ocean, reaching the coast of Africa decades before the Portuguese did. Yet, his incredible fleet and its achievements were largely erased from history by subsequent Chinese emperors. It wasn't just the ships, it was the maps. We celebrate the cartographers who documented the New World. But what about those who laid the groundwork? Think of the anonymous Arab and Persian geographers of the Islamic Golden Age. Scholars like Al-Idrisi in the 12th century created incredibly detailed maps of the known world, combining information from sailors, merchants, and explorers. His Tabula Rogeriana was one of the most advanced world maps of its time, providing a foundation of geographical knowledge that later European explorers would rely upon, whether they admitted it or not. These forgotten cartographers pursued accuracy with a relentless passion, piecing together the puzzle of our planet one voyage at a time, often without recognition for their painstaking work. They were the unsung architects of our global map. Beyond the technology and the maps are the human stories, the raw sagas of endurance against unimaginable odds. The comfortable chronicles of famous explorers often gloss over the sheer terror of being lost at sea. But for every celebrated survivor, there are countless forgotten crews who faced the abyss and never returned, or those who did, but whose stories were never told. Consider the journey of Pytheas of Massalia, a Greek explorer from around 325 BC. He sailed out of the Mediterranean, past the Pillars of Hercules, and ventured north, circumnavigating Britain and possibly reaching Iceland or even the Arctic Circle. He described a land of the midnight sun and a strange, sludgy sea of ice. When he returned, his accounts were dismissed by many as fantasy. He faced disbelief, not accolades. His story is a testament to the lonely struggle of pushing boundaries, of seeing things no one else has seen and struggling to make them believe. And what about the constant threat of mutiny, starvation, and disease? Think of the early Dutch explorers trying to find the Northeast Passage, like Willem Barents. His crew was forced to overwinter in the Arctic after their ship was trapped in ice in 1596. They built a lodge from their ship's timbers and survived for months in extreme cold, hunting polar bears for food. Barents himself died on the return journey, but some of his crew made it back. Their tale is one of incredible hardship and resilience, a raw fight for survival that gets little more than a footnote in most history books. These were not glorious adventures. They were brutal struggles against nature and human frailty, undertaken by people whose names we'll likely never know. One of the most fascinating aspects of this hidden history is the number of unheralded firsts, incredible discoveries of new lands, resources, and cultures that were later attributed to more famous expeditions. History, as they say, is written by the victors, or at least by those with better public relations. For example, long before Vasco da Gama discovered the sea route to India around Africa, sailors from China, Persia, and the Arab world had been plying those same routes for centuries. The Indian Ocean was a bustling hub of international trade. Da Gama's discovery was really just the moment Europe finally plugged into this existing, ancient network. The real pioneers were the anonymous dhow captains and junk pilots who had been navigating those monsoon winds for generations. Similarly, while the Viking settlement in North America around 1000 AD is now fairly well, it's still often treated as a historical curiosity rather than a major event. But think about it. Leif Erikson and his crew established a settlement in what is now Newfoundland, Canada, nearly 500 years before Columbus set sail. They were the first Europeans to set foot in the Americas, a monumental first that for centuries was relegated to the realm of myth. The discovery of their settlement at Lonso Meadows finally gave them their due, but for a long time, the credit went elsewhere. These stories force us to ask, how many other firsts have been wrongly attributed, their true discoverers lost to time? These early, often unrecorded, maritime interactions wove a silent, global tapestry of cultural exchange. The world was far more interconnected, far earlier than we often imagine. Accidental landfalls and unscheduled trade encounters had a surprising and lasting impact on societies across the globe. Consider the spread of the sweet potato. This crop, native to the Americas, was being cultivated throughout Polynesia long before European contact in the Pacific. How did it get there? The most likely explanation is that Polynesian voyagers sailed to South America, or that South American sailors traveled west, initiating a trade of goods and knowledge. This single plant is a powerful piece of evidence for a forgotten chapter of trans-Pacific contact. It represents a silent exchange that reshaped agriculture and diets for millions of people. These unseen voyages also left their mark on our very DNA and languages. Genetic studies have found surprising links between distant populations, suggesting ancient maritime migrations we are only now beginning to understand. For instance, some indigenous groups in the Amazon rainforest share a distinct genetic marker with people from Australasia. The journey this DNA must have taken is mind-boggling and speaks to epic sea voyages we have no written record of. Similarly, linguistic puzzles hint at forgotten contacts, with loanwords popping up in languages thousands of miles apart, carried across the oceans by unknown sailors. These silent exchanges didn't just move goods, they moved people, ideas, and the very building blocks of our shared human heritage. So, why does reclaiming this history matter today? It's about more than just adding new names to a list of explorers. It's about fundamentally changing our perspective on how the world became what it is. The enduring legacy of these forgotten journeys is a richer, more complex, and more interconnected story of humanity. Challenging the mainstream narratives is crucial. It forces us to critically examine who gets credit for global breakthroughs and why. The traditional, Eurocentric story of exploration often carries with it a narrative of conquest and superiority. By recognizing the achievements of non-European navigators, from Polynesian wayfinders to Chinese admirals, we create a more balanced and accurate picture of world history. We see that the drive to explore, to discover what lies beyond the horizon, is a universal human impulse, not the property of any one culture or era. The good news is, this work is ongoing. Archaeologists, historians, and geneticists are constantly bringing these silent sagas to light, from excavating ancient shipwrecks to analyzing DNA and re-examining old texts. We are piecing together a new map of our past. Every new discovery adds another voice to the chorus of forgotten explorers, reminding us that history is not a static book, but a living story that is still being uncovered. These unsung heroes of the high seas may have been whispers in time, but their echoes are finally growing louder, reshaping our world once more. Thank you so much for joining us on this journey into the forgotten sagas of maritime history. If you found this as fascinating as we do, make sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next exploration into the past. Let us know in the comments which unsung explorer you think deserves more recognition. Thanks for watching.